Hello everyone, my name is Veelia and today I'm making a video guide for new players who are thinking about downloading World of Warcraft for the first time. This will be the first video in a multi-part series, so please subscribe to my channel to stay in touch with my latest videos and updates. The World of Warcraft movie and the hype of the Legion pre-patch event have brought a renewed interest in World of Warcraft, something I am overjoyed to say as the mainstream distaste for the latest expansion, Warlords of Draenor, has taken a hit on the community. However, now I'm hearing a lot of new buzz being driven around Legion. So, regardless of if you're downloading the game because your favorite streamer or YouTuber is recommending it, or if it's to play with a friend or a partner who's getting back into the game, or, just because you thought 12 years was long enough to wait and Legion just looks too cool to pass up, I'm glad you're here. Feel free to pause the video as you like and follow along yourself as you start your new adventure in World of Warcraft. Let's get into it. First off, if you're downloading the game because you want to play with a friend who already has the game, stop right here. Don't download or purchase the game just yet. Ask your friend for what's called a recruiter friend link. If they are unfamiliar with how to recruit a friend, show them this guide. All they will have to do is go to their friend list and game and click on the icon in the top right corner of the window with the shaking hands. Here, they will just follow the steps provided by entering in your email address, and keep in mind this is the email address that will be linked to your new Battle.net account, and add a message if they so desire. You will then receive an email prompting you to get started. Why use this link? There are many benefits to using the Recruiter Friend link, including a 300% boost to experience gained when in group, and the ability to summon each other when in group as well. Your friend will get some cool perks too, such as 1 level to use on any of their lobby tunes for every 2 levels your character gains. Plus, if you decide to buy 2 months of game time, your friend will also get to choose a cool new mount or pet. So, if you know someone who plays, I'd highly recommend starting World of Warcraft by using their Recruiter Friend link. However, for those of you out there who are not lucky enough to have a friend who plays WoW, have no fear. I'm here to help you out, so let's get started. After downloading the game and logging in, you will automatically load up onto this screen once you press play. This is called the Realm Selection screen. There are a few things to learn here. First of all, you can see a few different types of realms: normal, PvP, RP, and RP PvP. Realms are all the same except for how players are allowed to interact with each other on each realm. Choosing a normal realm will put you on a realm where other players cannot attack you, except in select areas which are specifically meant for player versus player combat. Choose a normal realm if you're mostly uninterested in player versus player combat and more interested in player versus environment combat, like fighting NPC enemies. If you choose a PvP realm, you will always be flagged for player versus player combat when outside of safe or neutral territory. Choosing an RP or roleplay realm will place you in a realm where people prefer to act as their character in realistic ways, through their attire, their actions, their speech, etc. Role players like to play through their character and choose to partake less in player versus player or player versus environment combat, and instead interact with other players while acting out a fantasy life. RP PvP just means an RP realm, like I described above, where you are flagged for player versus player content. The next thing to consider on this screen is the population size. We have a few choices here as well. Full means this realm has reached, or is close to reaching, its maximum capacity. Most of the time you'll find your most seasoned or experienced players on these realms, as they have been playing the game for longer periods of time. I would personally recommend making a character on a full or high population realm, as there will be more players here to help you out. In addition, the auction houses in the in-game market will typically be cheaper and more affordable, and there will be more options for you once you reach max level. On the other hand, if you are a quiet player who prefers to play by themselves without a lot of people around, I'd recommend a low or medium population realm. Here, there will typically be less players in the main cities, less players leveling up in the open world, and less items on the in-game market, making supplies a little harder to come by. However, the benefits to being on a lower population realm is there are less trolls and all around weirdos on these realms. And if you like, you can also choose to be on a realm with other new players by choosing New Player Realms. Once you've made your choice, you can select your realm by just double-clicking on the one you would want to start on. You will then be taken to the character selection screen. Now we're getting into the complicated parts of creating a new World of Warcraft account. Here you get to choose your gender, faction, race, and class. Don't worry, I'm going to go into specific detail for you so you're not overwhelmed with all of the new choices on screen now. A race is more or less the model of the character that you will be making. Each race has their own unique racial traits and can be their own specific classes, aka specializations. We'll get into those later. If you click on more info, you can see the specific traits per race as well as a description of the race. I encourage everyone who is new to the game to read these before choosing a race, just to make sure they choose the one that is most fitting to their personal gaming style and personality. Faction is an important consideration when choosing your race. There are two factions in World of Warcraft, Alliance and Horde. They're typically seen as enemies throughout most of the lore, however they do come together during certain parts of the storyline for the greater good. The Alliance stands for righteousness and honor. They always strive to do what is right and noble, no matter the cost. Their aesthetic is typically more calm and human-like than the Horde, which tends to be more rough and gritty. You will notice a trend of royal blue being the main quote-unquote color of the Alliance, meant most likely to symbolize diplomacy and honor. The Horde, on the other hand, values power and strength above all else. Most Horde races earn respect through the blade versus through diplomacy. Blood and honor is a code that the Orcs, the founding race of the Horde, live by. You'll notice a color trend of mostly reds and earthy browns if you choose to side with the Horde. It is important to make this decision after some consideration on how you'd prefer to see and play the game, as your faction choice decides a lot of the things in the game for you, such as the zones you level up in, your main cities where you're going to spend a lot of your downtime, and the races that you'll be able to play. The storyline and the lore is also determined by the choice you make with your faction, as Alliance and Horde often get different quests, different cinematics, zones, voice acting, etc. So be sure to read through all of the races and choose carefully. Once you've picked your gender and race, it's time to choose your class. Keep in mind that different races have different classes available based on the lore of each race. For example, orcs cannot be paladins, priests, druids, or demon hunters, as these classes wouldn't fit with the orc lore. The More Info button also unlocks more information about the class as well. It's important to keep in mind that the class quirks, as I would call them, which come with each class, such as a pet for a hunter, changes with each race. Hunters are a great example of this because every race can be a hunter. There will be one class that will be unavailable to you after purchasing World of Warcraft Legion, and that is Demon Hunters. Currently, at the time of this video, you can only unlock Demon Hunters if you pre-ordered the expansion and only after you have leveled attuned to 70. This is subject to change as Blizzard typically makes adjustments to restrictions like these, but that's just how it is right now. Now that you've chosen your faction, race, and class, it's time to customize your character. Click on the button to move to the next screen. Tip: don't be afraid to click on that button. If you change your mind about your character, you can always use the back button to go back and make changes to your character. The Warcraft customization screen is fairly simple and follows the basic standards of most character customization screens. You can choose between different skin colors, facial expressions, hairstyles, hair colors, and the special one at the bottom that allows you to change your earrings, markings, tusks, etc. That last choice will vary based on your chosen race. For example, trolls get to customize their tusks and night elves get to customize their markings. I'll take you through a bit of the customization process here as an example. We're almost done with the customization screen. Now, all that is left is to create your name. Keep in mind that the game has been around for 12 years, so a lot of the common names are taken. You can type in a unique name, or you can use the randomization button at the bottom and have a name generated for you. Once you've chosen a name, you're done. This is the end of the character creation process. Keep in mind, once you click this button, there are only a few things you can change without pain. Those include your hairstyle, your hair color, and that race-specific trait, such as your tusks or markings, etc. If you decide later that you want to change your race, your faction, realm, and name, all of these things cost money to change. You can find a full list of how much these cost on the Battle.net account management page. Well, there you have it. That pretty much wraps up my first beginner's guide to World of Warcraft video. Next up in this series, I will be taking you through what happens after you click that finish button and helping you set up a basic interface and showing you what all of your new shiny buttons and tabs do. I am a new YouTuber, so I definitely appreciate feedback. Please, please, please let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below. However, I'm a veteran WoW player. I've been playing since Wrath of the Lich King back in 2009, and I have a lot of in-game experience. So if you'd like to see other types of World of Warcraft videos, please leave me a comment with suggestions for what you'd like to see down the line. Again, thanks for watching so much. Give this video a thumbs up to support the channel if you enjoyed what you saw. You can also find all of my social media links in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.